Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Today is World Sight Day. Yes, that's right, a day when you should be concerned about your eyesight and everything related to vision. So, we're going to go through some idioms which include the word eye or refer to sight. So, World Sight Day. Which reminds me, I have a diabetic eye appointment later, so I'll be going to the hospital. I don't quite know what to expect. I've never had a diabetic eye appointment before. I had one of these leaflets in the post from the government. Now that you have diabetes, blah, 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 telling me about what I have to do and all these things. And they told me they've made an eye appointment for me for today. So I'll tell you all about that in the future. So let's get on to these idioms. Okay, so the first one, a sight for sore eyes. A sight for sore eyes. And that means something which looks very pleasing to you. Okay, so maybe something you've been waiting for, or when you see something you love. For example, if you've been working all day and you're on the way home, and finally you see your dog on your street, you think, finally I'm home. After a holiday, when you get back to your house, it's truly a sight for sore eyes. So you can tell your friend, your family member, that's a sight for sore eyes. Or you can just say it in your head, a sight for sore eyes. You can even say it about people. You see your wife, husband, or whoever, and you can say, oh, you're a sight for sore eyes. I'm so happy to see you. Of course, sore simply means painful. So it's a sight for painful eyes. I hope my eyes aren't painful today, going for this eye screening. I don't like people prodding around my eyes. When I was at the doctor a few weeks ago, they had one of these organ donation things, one of these little cards, and they asked me, would you like to give your body to charity once you die? And I thought, oh no, no. Well, you can have bits of me, but don't take my eyes. I want to see what you're taking. I don't like the idea of people prodding around me. Anyway, the next idiom, all eyes and ears, okay? And that's when you're eager to learn something. So, for example, if your friend says, I have some good news, you can say, oh, I'm all ears. I'm all ears. Tell me, what's the good news? And if your friend says, there's something that I want to show you, then you can say, oh, I'm all eyes. What is it? I'm all eyes. Yeah, so I've never heard anyone say, I'm all eyes and ears, but all eyes. Yeah, so for example, Joseph, I have a present for you. Oh, really? Oh, I'm all eyes. It means I'm waiting. And about the news, oh, I'm all ears. Tell me. I think the ears one is more common, to be honest. Yeah, yeah. I can't really imagine myself saying the all eyes one, but all ears, I use that a lot when people go to tell me things. Oh, wait till I tell you. Oh, what is it? I'm all ears. I have good news. Really? I'm all ears. What is it? Well, of course, British people, sometimes we don't really care. So to say we're all ears might not really mean we are, but we say it anyway. The next one, all eyes are on something. Yeah. So when we're all watching someone or something happening, we can say all eyes are on it. So, for example, um, all eyes are on my boss today because we heard that he's about to get fired. All eyes are on the street next to where I live because there's a criminal there who's hiding from the police. So all eyes are on that street right now. All eyes are on particular countries who are at war. Yeah, so you can use this a lot, especially when you're telling a story. You could say to your wife, "Oh, at work today, all eyes were on my colleague Jenny because she came to work with bright blue hair." Do you know, I went to buy a plant the other day for the garden, and I went into the shop, and this woman served me. Oh, she was lovely. I mean, a really nice woman. I think she said she was from Finland. Bright blue hair. And I'm looking at her thinking, should I mention the hair? I found myself staring at it. So all eyes are on her when customers go to buy something because it's so out of the ordinary. The next one, an eye for an eye. Oh, well, I think you probably know what that means. A lot of people, when they, let's see now, when they are on the receiving end of a bad action, so when a bad action is made against them and they want to take revenge, they want to do another bad action because of the first one, they might often say, "Oh, well, an eye for an eye. That man stole my girlfriend, so now I'm going to do something bad to him." Yeah. Or that person took my wallet, so I'm going to make sure that I take his drink in the pub. Yeah. And while they're doing that, they might say or give the excuse, "Well, an eye for an eye." In other words, if one thing is done to me, then I should do another thing back. That's very common, In fact, I remember a story the other day about a man walking on the street and accidentally he wasn't looking where he was going, okay? Maybe he had vision problems. He walked into somebody else, and the other man wasn't really looking where he was going either, I think. But anyway, they both walked into each other, and one of them was really angry that he pushed the other. And as he was pushing him, he said, "Well, an eye for an eye. You walked into me, so now I'm going to push you." An eye for an eye is actually from the Bible, but it's completely misquoted. It's not giving permission for someone to do bad action. It's actually forbidding people from doing bad action. So it's wrongly quoted, but we always do that, Someone does something bad to us, we do something back to them, and we say, "Well, an eye for an eye," to try to justify the situation. It's not the kind of thing I would do, but yeah, people do sometimes do that. It's very common, like at work, a bad email comes in insulting everyone, and someone thinks, "You know what? I'm going to send a nasty email back. An eye for an eye," meaning I have permission to do that because they've sent this bad email to me. But yeah, it's a bit immature, I think. Oh, this is a good one. To see somebody out of the corner of your eye. Yeah, that's if you see someone and you don't want to acknowledge that they're actually there, but you know they are. You just kind of walk past them, So you see someone you don't want to talk to, they're there because you see them out the corner of your eye. um, and you carry on, you know. It's quite often used in reported speech. For example, if something, let's say you're at the scene of a crime and the police say, "Do you know who did this bad thing?" You could say, "Well, out of the corner of my eye, I know there was someone coming up behind me or was around me, but I couldn't tell you who it was." I'm not able to see out of the corner of my eye. I used to be able to, and then I woke up one day with one of my eyes not working at all. And that's how I ended up being told that I had diabetes. And my eyes fully recovered, but I still can't see out of the corner of it. Teachers always see out of the corner of their eye to look at kids behind them. Mothers can do that as well. You go to the kitchen and you think nobody knows that you're there, and a voice comes and says, "Don't eat the biscuits." And you think, "Darn, how did she know that I was here?" The teacher's writing on the board, although I think it's electronic boards they have now, isn't it? So the teacher's writing on the board, she's facing the board, and you think that you can't see anything behind her, and then you lean over to talk to your friend, and the teacher says, "McTaggart, face the front." They used to call us by our surnames, didn't they? And I think, darn, how did she know what I was doing? I mean, she's facing the other way. So they could see out of the corner of their eyes. That's known as having peripheral vision, which I'm terrible at now. Yeah, I'll need to tell them that today when I go for my eye test, that I can't really see anything from the corner of my eye. Just a few more. Okay. Oh, the wandering eye. Yeah, this is a good one. So basically, in a relationship, okay, you have two people, and if one of them finds another person attractive or instigates a relationship with somebody else, that's called the wandering eye. I remember my grandmother, she told me that when she was pregnant with my mother, that my grandfather got the wandering eye. And she said, "I never actually met the woman. I mean, your grandfather got the wandering eye when I was pregnant. I never actually met her, but I heard she was a rather dominant, controlling woman that spoke too much. Maybe variety really is the spice of life." And I'm thinking, yeah, like she sounds so different from you are. Yeah, because my grandmother was quite dominant and controlling. Um, Variety is the spice of life is another idiom which simply means variety or change is really good for us. Okay, so lots of idioms today. Um, blue-eyed boy. Yeah, that means that in families there's always one, usually the youngest, that's favored more than others. So if you have a group of boys in the family, there's always one that's the apple of the mother's eye. That means the favorite in the family because he's the youngest. And if it's the apple in someone's eye, which is another eye idiom, you can say that they are the blue-eyed boy. The blue-eyed boy. And that's it. So I'm sure there's many more, but that's some of them. Out of that list, my favorite is probably out of the corner of my eye, because that turns up in a lot of books. The one I really don't like is an eye for an eye, because people use that one as an excuse to hurt each other. That was in that song, wasn't it? I Did What I Did for Maria. Do you remember? By Tony Christie. He is in the song on the rampage, looking for someone to kill, trying to avenge the death of his wife called Maria. Strange. In many of his songs, there was somebody called Maria and Marie. And in that song, he says that he did what he did for Maria, an eye for an eye, because he's out to kill the person who killed his wife. Oh, very interesting. Yeah. So there we are. Idioms. This is a great day to have your eyes tested on World Sight Day, or at least make an appointment with an optician. In the UK, eye tests are a little bit strange, okay? Because in England, you pay for them, and the charge is around, I think, between £10 and £15. In the rest of the UK, you don't, because we around the UK, we all have local governments, okay? So there's the Scottish government in Scotland. I mentioned this yesterday, the Welsh government in Wales and in Northern Ireland. As far as I'm aware, eye tests are free as soon as you leave England, you know. But in England itself, you have to pay. And that's the same, I think, with everything else. Hearing tests, prescriptions, medicine from the doctor. In England, you have to pay for these things, but in Scotland, you don't. Did you know that 80% of information that your brain processes comes from the eyes? Your eye is the fastest muscle. Well, mine's aren't, at least not at the moment. A blink lasts 100 milliseconds. A sight test can determine other ailments. So conditions like high blood pressure or high sugar levels are detected in an eye test. Yeah, I knew about that. So a good day for you to go and get your eyes tested. Let's look at the difference between an optician. There's a few different words here. An optometrist or an ophthalmologist. Okay, these are the three key words you hear in the UK. So the optician is the woman or the man who gives you your glasses. Okay. So he advises what ones are good for you and he fits them after testing your eyes. There's a very close difference between these. It says here, an optician can either be a dispensing optician or an ophthalmic optician. So the dispensing one fits the glasses and contact lenses. An optometrist is an eye care professional who examines your eyes for both vision and health problems and prescribes the glasses. Okay, so I think what we're saying then is the optician is the person who gives you advice on wearing them. An optometrist is the one who actually does the tests, and the ophthalmologist is a medically trained doctor in the treatment of the eye. Oh, well, the shops that we go to buy our glasses, we just call them opticians. Okay, so I've never heard of an optometrist before, but I know in the hospital they have the ophthalmology department. That's the medically trained doctors. Okay, so there we are: optician, optometrist, and ophthalmologist. So if you're going to buy glasses, it's just the optician. Okay, I believe in American English they call them optometrists, and the ophthalmologist if it's something serious. Right, that's it from me. Have a great day. See you all soon. Bye.